Okay, this is the northwest corner. Is that right? Northwest corner of the garage, and we should have a nailing plate right here between the garage pedestrian door. At one time they had framed this for 2 water heaters, obviously, and they use this as the main vent for the water heater, and that might be the only choice because there's a room upstairs. There's a bonus room, so this is where the water heater is gonna go. Just wanted to come show you that flashing plate. There's something else that I found down here. It's in my notes, but I kind of wanted to include it into the video as well. But I guess we'll come up with it here shortly. Moving along. Okay, remember the attic? We should have soffit vents right here. We have soffit vents right there. Excuse me, we should have soffit baffles. See these baffles? We should have soffit baffles right there. And then, see this crooked wall stud? Well, it's just busted out right there. I can't get over there with my pink paint. But look at that. I think I'd want something done with that. And remember in the garage and the downstairs I was talking about the sealant, and then when I was downstairs I was talking about the sealant all along this wall here as well. Well, look all across here. I mean, there's the sealant. It's just nowhere near the board, the joints. I don't even know how to explain that. I don't even know what to expect. It says just run a line around there on the 2 boards. Run a line. Okay. Very task-oriented per individual here. I mean, he did what he was told to do, I guess. Maybe the direction was lacking. Maybe we had some lacking direction. There's just no real way to explain it. Bring this in case. Moving along, this is the southwest bedroom. So on the south wall in the southwest bedroom, we're needing some nailing plates right in here. And this is a good place to, because there's a lot going on here. This is a good place to talk about it. Okay, the code inspector was trying to explain to me that once the brick is put up, okay, then it's going to have counter flashing, and that's going to keep it from leaking. And it's no, just no, it's not. So I just can't emphasize that enough. If that gets covered over, you're going to have a continuous leak. So, you know, that's probably the most good I did for you today. Now, I get that this isn't directly on the ground, but if anybody falls out of this window, they're going to keep going. And I'm not just talking about this window. I'm also talking about those windows in that bedroom and those windows over here. And the code says that any window that's higher than 72 inches from the ground should be at least 24 inches from the floor. Alright, so what do we got here? We got 23 to the windowsill. Maybe not to the window itself. To the windowsill. Alright. So, and then put some gypsum board in here, because they'll build it up, and that'll be 24 inches, right? And then we bring some carpet, and the floor's going to get moved up. So I don't know where this is going to end up, and we're splitting, you know, fractions of an inch here. I don't know if that's the hill we want to die on, but, you know, that's just something that you should be aware of. The windowsill also should be sealed as per the manufacturer's instructions. He said we could use screws. But they said we were supposed to have a screw within 2 inches of the corners. And that's not the case downstairs in the front entry. So, moving on along. along. So this would be the southeast bedroom. That was the southwest bedroom. And the southwest corner of the southwest bedroom, I think, you know, see how they got the, well, actually, that's a dead cavity. It wouldn't do any good to put any soffits in there, so I'm gonna have to walk that back. I make mistakes. I kind of go, but over here we need a nailing plate. Man, it's just difficult with these nailing plates, and I'll tell you why. Because those codes were written for dimensional lumber years and years ago, back when we had 2x4s. Get it? We don't have 2x4s anymore. We got 2x3.5s. But the nails didn't change, and the gypsum board didn't change. So almost anymore, if a hole isn't bored directly in the middle of the stud, you pretty much count for a nailing plate somewhere. And that's just the way, you know, way of the world. Coming along in here, so this would be the northeast bedroom. And we need a couple on the south wall. We need a couple nailing plates. I want to move along in here for a little bit. Windows keep closed. We already talked about that. And the sealant, again, on probably all these windows. Probably all these windows. This is a bonus room or a storage room over the garage. And this is the water heater flue. Alright, so if they would have moved it over to be directly over the water heater, it'd be coming up here somewhere. So this is probably not going to be a practical application. It might not be ideal, but consider, you know, it's either that or lose this room. And this room is not air-conditioned space, by the way. Alright, this is not air-conditioned space. This is a vent for fresh air. I have to go out there and find it somewhere. Fresh air induction. And we shouldn't have daylight shining through all this. See that? The sheathing is here. Basically, the sheathing is here for strength, to be honest. But since it is more or less some type of integrated in some fashion to the living space, that board should be sealed. We should have some fire blocking in there. It only makes sense. It only makes sense to care. It only makes sense to do things right in a good and workmanlike manner. It only makes sense. There's some more of that sealant. Somebody all the way around. I was going to try and itemize this stuff. I give up. Somebody needs to. The more I look, the more I see. Oh, that's just crazy. All right, back close to an 1.5 inches. We can move these brackets. We can move this plumbing over, or you can put a nailing plate there. Your choice. Your choice. Same thing over here. You can move the brackets, you can move the plumbing over a little bit, or you can put a nailing plate there. Your choice. So this is the only place that we're actually missing the soffit vents. The soffit vent baffles is over the stairs. You don't know this, but this is the last video, unless I change my mind about getting the camera pole out. It has quit raining. If it doesn't look like lightning, maybe I'll get a better look at the roof while we're here. Darn, I thought I was going to go home.